Awesome, guys. So we're on to objection handling. Now, objection handling is probably my favorite thing in sales because, and like I said earlier, sale or complaint, there's never a situation where there's no objections. There's usually an objection somewhere along the line. A common one, these are some very common ones. What are you selling? Your answer for this. Well, right now I don't know what you need or if any of my products are even suitable for you. So until I find out those things, I won't be trying to sell you anything. Response, okay, that sounds fair. Your turn. I believe honesty is the best policy. Wouldn't you agree? Yes. Your turn. Great, I'm glad we both agree on that. So how about this? I'd like to ask you a few questions to help me better understand your situation. And after hearing your answers, if I feel like one of my products will genuinely benefit you, then I'll make a recommendation. Does that sound fair? Yes. Okay, another one, no, we're fine, thanks. You can say, what's fine? The weather? What is it that you're referring to? Sorry. No, we're happy with our current provider. This is an example that they might say. Oh, that's great. What are you happy with about your current provider? We have a good relationship with them. Oh, that's fantastic. But without being the bearer of bad news, relationships don't generate results. Do you agree? Not sure I agree. Well, we pride ourselves on relationships too, but more importantly, we focus on results, which is why I reached out to you in the first place. So as an intelligent business owner, would you agree that if a more effective solution became available to you, that it would be in your best interest to consider it? If they say no, they're a non-qual. They're basically admitting that they're dumb. If they say yes, it's obviously, the right answer because an intelligent business owner would consider a more effective solution. Okay, so if they do say yes, you say, okay, great. Well, based on the fact I have a couple of questions to ask you that will determine if we're a good fit. Based on that, I have a couple of questions to ask you to determine if we're a good fit. So how about this? I'd like to ask you a couple of questions, and based on the situation and after hearing your answers, if I feel like one of my products is genuinely beneficial to you, I'll make a recommendation. How does that sound? So those are the most common objections, guys. Another one is, oh, it's too expensive. And you can break that down and you can say, well, I've just done the math, and if we generated you X amount of inquiries and you've got an X amount of conversion rate at a X amount of value per job, if you're generating 20 jobs at $500 a job, it's $10,000. What I'm quoting you here is $25 per inquiry and approximately a $500 to $600 investment to generate those inquiries. We're looking at a $1,100 a month investment to make $10,000 back. So I'm failing to understand how it's too expensive. Could you explain yourself, please? Okay, so that's another really important one that you need to be able to handle. If someone says, oh, it's too expensive, it's like, well, it's a chicken and an egg, mate. So, what do you want? Do you want the outcome of the inquiries and all of the money that inquiries generate? Or do you want to, stay fearful of investing in your own business? And another way you can really stimulate a reaction is you could say, like if someone says, oh, we're okay, you can say, oh, are you not in a position to grow your business right now? That's another one. If someone says, oh, no, we are in a position to grow our business, it's like, well, based on the fact that I've helped grow, I've helped generate $7 million for other businesses, wouldn't be a bad idea to sit down and, potentially look at how we could help yours, would it? What are they going to say? You've generated all this money for all these businesses. Are they going to say no? Of course they're not. So if they do say no, they're basically making themselves look stupid because you've guaranteed that you have helped other people in their situation. So it's like they're basically saying that they don't want to fix their situation. They want to just stay with their problem. And you could then break down their problem and say, look, I'm just helping you understand that this problem that you're talking to me about, do you have any idea how much it's costing you per month at the moment? And that's getting them to think about what they're actually, having to deal with. What is the amount of opportunity cost that not investing is going to make them? So, do the math again, work backwards. How much is the average? They've given you all this information about their average value per customer. They've given you all this information about their conversion rate and all the current volumes that they're doing. So you can just work back and say, look, you've told me that you want an extra 30 jobs per month, and you've told me that you've got a 50% conversion ratio, and they might have a $1,000 value per client. So are you telling me that you are willing to walk away from $15,000 a month with a potential investment of $1,000? You could be having an extra 15K in revenue. Does that not sound viable? What are they going to say? If they say no, then they're not qualified. Okay, so you want to try this 3 times, guys. Okay, and I'm going to use this video for the 3 strikes as well, because realistically, objection handling is in relation to the 3 strikes. You want to close 3 times. If you don't get the job done in 3 closes, then they're a non-qual. They're not ready to purchase. You're probably going to get a complaint if you try a 4th time. Okay, not the end of the world if you do, but I just wouldn't recommend it. Another thing is, with your objection handling, you want to use different closes. Okay, so if you say, for example, get an objection and you handle that, and then you steer the pitch back in your direction, you want to try a different close for the 2nd time, and then the 3rd time you might want to try a different close again. Okay, and that's going to give you the ability to come at them from an angle that they're not expecting, and it's going to give you more likelihood of closing a deal, because some people might not respond to an assumptive close. They might be better suited to an alternative close. Once you start getting objections, you might use a trial close just to make sure that everything's going okay before you use another assumptive close. You know what I'm talking about. Alright, but this is objection handling 101. You want to practice this with your peers, with your family, and they're going to help you get to the point where you're real confident with any objection. You can handle it on the fly. Okay, so I hope this video has been really helpful, and again, this is a fast-paced course, guys. Let's smash through this.